I went rock climbing at Smith Rocks with Kim and Larry Zimmerman and his wife then, Kim Brandell. And I'd never climbed before, and they took me up this thing. It was very challenging. And all I remember is Paul just saying, there was one move that I just kept falling and falling, and they're being very patient. But Kim's down there going, get your fat ass up there. I can't believe you can't pull yourself up. And Paul's just saying, what you need to do, and this is how I'm hanging in a crack, right? And there's a ledge right here. And he goes, what you need to do is take your right leg, put it up by your right ear, and then pull yourself up to that ledge. It's called mantling, right? I just laughed. There's no way. But he would be able to do that. He was so strong. You know, he was just nothing. We get up to the top, and he was just great. He was so much fun. And to get that many women on his crew right away, just real innovative. But yeah, he was a crazy dancer. He wouldn't dance with anybody. He would just take up the whole floor. It was so fun. But yeah, it was quite an era. I was really sorry when he passed away. He was a big part of Zigzag. Mike Hilbrunner, through, I think, just kidding around, and Lee Inglesby said, everyone drags 6 lengths of hose. Everybody drags 6 lengths of hose on each arm. 2 hooked together, 3 on this side, 100 if you're going downhill. And of course, I had to prove that I could do it because, you know, the only woman. And I remember dragging all this hose down through this unit. It wasn't like this or anything, but just struggling to get that down. And I got to the road, and they were laughing their heads off. And I knew right then, I really better be careful. But I never had anything other than the FMO coming back and saying, she can't work here. We're not going to do it. And then the crew by that time said, no, she's fine. She'll be able to do it. I've had one guy refuse to work for me. And just point blank, never going to work for a woman as a squad boss. I didn't want him on my crew anyway. So we switched it around, and it was fine. But you know, it takes a little while. And the Forest Service back in '73 was just coming into hiring women for anything other than clerical. I mean, in any field. So it wasn't that unusual to get that. It was kind of, everybody expected that you had to work harder and prove yourself a little bit more. And that's okay. I would take that challenge. And now I would just tell them what they could do. But back then it was life nicer. Yeah, whole different world. But I really enjoyed it. God, I just had so much fun on fires. To come back dirty and to come back just covered, and you'd have like white legs up here and black, you know, and just dirt everywhere, and just feel so good at the end of the day. That I just treasure that. And some people don't understand that. They go, how could you smell that smoke? On the Glease fire, they were doing nuclear winter studies, and I'll never forget that. These guys came down in full scuba, little wind kind of particulate collectors. They're walking down the fire line, and they're breathing oxygen, and we're down there with our old dirty bandanas. And they said, yeah, we're doing nuclear winter studies, and you really shouldn't be breathing this stuff. There's a big inversion, you know, down in Roseburg. And we just laughed because, like, we had a bandana on. And so I wonder about some of those health impacts that are there. But I just loved it.